Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ben from UnitedQ. It's Wednesday, which means we have another awesome podcast to help get you over Hump Day. I'm here with my co-host, Dan.
What's up?
And we're brought to you, as always, by ProQ, BBQ Gourmet and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ's dedicated to providing you quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, wanting to upgrade, or looking for authentic charcoal commercial smokers, check them out over at Max Barbecue. BBQ Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades and accessories from the United States and around the world. You can find them on Twitter and online under BBQ Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas or electric, the real taste of summer can be yours all year round. And on this week's show, we've got Michael Duffy from Smokin Yankees. Hi, Michael. You all right?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. How are you? You having a good day?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for squeezing us into your busy schedule today. Where have you been just before here?
I was just back from another radio interview. I was on Radio Ulster, which is probably the biggest radio station over here. You know, it's a BBC station. So I've ran quickly back from Belfast city centre to my uniquely baseball barbecue man shed. So I'm ready to speak with proper barbecue people.
Yeah, back to real radio station here now. So for our listeners, all right, if you just introduce yourself and give a little bit about your background.
Yeah, my name is Michael Duffy. I hasten to use the word pitmaster, but sort of the organizer of Smokin Yankees BBQ Belfast. We are a pretty young barbecue team. We formed about 2 years ago here in Belfast. It mightn't mean much to your listeners in England, but we are a cross-community barbecue team here in Belfast. We're just a collection of friends and barbecue enthusiasts who decided to get together and do competition barbecue. You know, cross-community means a lot over here, but in the barbecue world, we are cross-community because we have both ProQ and Weber enthusiasts as well as Big Green Egg enthusiasts. So we're very much cross-community that way, as well as Catholic and Protestant.
So you all get on well.
I like this. I like the multicultural start, the way you've got it going on there. It's cool.
We're very much multicultural ourselves. Dan and I both use a variety of cooking equipment.
Yeah, it needs to be. Where I live in North Belfast is pretty much it's a very patchwork, you know, of areas. One would be Catholic areas, next would be Protestant areas, and so you have friends from all over the place. But you know, barbecue is one of those things that we started, as I say, 2 years ago, barbecuing together, and it wasn't that we were deliberately cross community. You know, we're not deliberately okay. We have to have 2 Catholics and 2 Protestants, or you know, it's just because Belfast is so varied and mixed. You know, it's that way. I mean, Belfast it's a very sort of European city now. You know, so the old
well, barbecue's about bringing people together, so it's very fitting.
It really is. It really is. It really is. Yeah, and you can see that. You know, last month then in Dublin at the Big Grill, you know, there was people from all over Ireland, you know, people from England, you know, people from Europe. It's great. It is just, and you know, barbecue is just one of those things. Barbecue's the same no matter where you are in the world, no matter how different you are, no matter what colour you are, what religion you are. Cooking meat's the same. I mean, the meat doesn't change. The people doing it make, but the meat doesn't.
Exactly. I was over at the Big Grill actually, but only for briefly on the first day. I managed to just nip in quickly. I was up in Belfast visiting family, and I managed to sneak off for one day and nip down to Dublin for the first day of the Big Grill. It was a really good real good festival. Really enjoyed it. Andy Noonan did a really, really good job, and just a really good gathering of both teams, and also just barbecue chefs and restaurants as well. I mean, you had like Neil Rankin, Andre Lima DeLuca, you had the Churrascada guys, you had Christian Stevenson, DJ Barbecue. I mean, that's just to name a few. There was loads. I mean, the new pitmaster from what's Jamie on it? Barbacoa. We had John Relihan there, obviously. Like so, yeah. Such a real good crowd. I mean, the barbecue teams. I mean, also they speak for themselves.
A lot of big people there. I mean, the Hangfire Girls were here this year too, doing demos, and you know, so I mean, it's a pretty big festival as far as barbecue goes. You know, if you're only going to have one barbecue festival in Ireland, it's a pretty good one. To compete in it, it's great. As an Irish team, we come down from Belfast. We're a small outfit. There's other teams in Ireland, that are very similar to us, but to go down and to be sitting in a tent beside Priscilla and a bunch of Swains and McSlims and people like that, and the Jedi Swine tricks and all the people that you see, that I would see as people to learn from England, the English barbecue scene, because you are light years ahead of us, but it's great. It's great to learn from those people and to have the conversations, and it is a lovely environment, and it's a lovely festival. It's great crack, to be brutally honest. Now it is great crack, but you learn as much. I've learned quite a lot in 2 years of going to Big Grill. Now I've learned quite a lot off the English teams, mostly,
Yeah.
but also developing that social aspect of teams from Limerick and Wicklow and other parts of Ireland that you would you'd never get to meet, So it's great that way, it's a very social aspect,
Yes, you mentioned that like the comparison there between barbecue over here and barbecue in sort of Northern Ireland. How is the sort of scene growing over there? How's it doing over there, and where do you see it sort of going in the near future?
It's growing very, very slowly, but we hope to change that. Low and slow over here is, I suppose we are where maybe England was 10 years ago. We're always quite a lot behind. They hate to make us sound like, as if we're behind people, but especially in Belfast here, there's pretty much two competition barbecue teams. We have a couple of low and slow restaurants that popped up, but the actual scene itself it's very much in its infancy. We in Smokin Yankees, I have a vision. I know it sounds quite prophetic to say that, but I have a vision that I want to grow barbecue here in Belfast, the low and slow stuff. When I speak to people here about what my version of barbecue is, low and slow and briskets and ribs and shoulders and all that kind of stuff, people are quite taken aback still, because people still see barbecue as burgers and sausages on a grill, and that's what I want to change. I want to promote that low and slow. Social media is a fantastic thing. Our team was formed basically, with the exception of 2 or 3 of us, was formed through social media, getting to know each other through social media. And there's a lot of people in and around the Belfast area who are very much into low and slow. You'll see them posting pictures of their WSMs or their Pro Qs or their Big Green Eggs and things like that. And what I want to do is bring all those people in, bring them all in together so we can promote Belfast as a barbecue, not maybe as a barbecue venue yet, but my dream for the short term would be to have Belfast teams going over to England to compete.
Awesome.
In competitions.
We'd love to have you
over.
over.
Very much. Oh, I can't wait. I'm really looking forward. We're hoping next year. We're hoping to get over next year to a couple of the competitions. Obviously, there's nothing in stone yet, but that's what we're hoping. Obviously, the focus at this point is on the Jack and the American Royal. But it's just, in that dream, I have the likes of Peter Hannon at the Meat Merchant at Hannon Meats. He's our primary sponsor at this point. But we're bringing in other people, to bring hardware together and the great meat. Because we have one thing over here. Well, we have more than one thing. But the one thing we do have over the world is, I'm convinced we have one of the best meat-producing countries in the world. And to use that meat to a barbecue standard that, there's no reason why I can't be confident in going over to England and taking over, Hannon Meats, and he talks about the Himalayan salt aging and things like that. But it really is good because of where Ireland is. This is very boring and technical, but we sit on a very big limestone plinth, and it allows for different soil, which allows for different grass, which allows for different meat in the cattle and things like that. So, that's where we want to push, not just, foodie barbecue, because there's a lot of craft stuff there, and that's where I see barbecue coming from. Barbecue's a people's thing. Years ago, people didn't drink ale. They thought ale was beardy people who sit in smoky pubs and talk about stuff that nobody wants to understand. Whereas now, because of the craft ale revolution and things like that, craft ale is so popular, and not to use the term hipster and things like that, but it's very popular. Craft beer bars are everywhere and things like that. Even in Belfast here, they pop up all over the place. I want barbecue to be the same, but not in that way, not in a way that it's aloof from the people. I think a barbecue place should be,
Yeah, definitely.
full of normal people. It's not something that I want hijacked, and made that it's more than what it is. To me, barbecue's about the people, and that's essentially what we want to do. We want to promote people and barbecue and people. That's where I want to go, and obviously I'll talk on for hours about it, and I would probably bore the life out of you talking about it for hours.
No.
But, yeah,
on the meat front there with the I know a guy, John Renahan, who would definitely agree with you with that. He really pushes for sort of the Irish beef to be used, and literally will stand up and say that it's the best in the world, and that's what he uses when he brought it over when he started Barbacoa in London. They use all Irish beef, so he really pushes that. And actually, the first time I sort of came across it, Riviera Barbecue, not the first time I came across Irish beef, but the first Irish brisket that I used was Riviera Barbecue's. Glenn and Sarah passed one on to Marcus, and we were at Marcus's, and he was trying out the new Traeger, and he had an Irish brisket on, and genuinely, it was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant, absolutely bang on. Was great. I mean, I would say it stands up to. I mean, a lot of people say that our beef over here can't stand up in the sort of low and slow brisket cooks and stuff like that to the sort of USDA or like Wagyu and stuff like that. But actually, I felt that it did, and its beefy flavour was fantastic. So I definitely go into to say and agree with that. And it excites me that a team is really using British produce, Irish produce, and competing with it, and actually pushing that, and standing up and saying, look, we can do great barbecue with our own produce, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's when interests come from one part of the world to the next, you can't allow that one thing just to stick. It has to evolve into the environment it's in. Barbecue came here obviously from America and other countries in the world, but when it's in Ireland here, if my dream does come true and we do get to come over and compete next year in one or two of the competitions, we will most certainly be bringing over Irish beef from Hannon Meats. It's aged in the Himalayan salt rooms. It's just the quality of the meat is just unbelievable. We practice with it and we eat it. There's a lot of talk, as you say, of USDA and Wagyu, and there's no reason why. I mean, Irish beef can stand up to anybody. I'm a very patriotic person when it comes to things, but we want to go over and we want to compete, and we want to go over and compete on our own ground. We want to bring our own meat with us, and there's a great environment for that. I mean, even Peter Hannon, who is the guy who owns Hannon Meats, he's a foodie. He's so into barbecue. Remember, we were talking about our anything but dish for the big grill, and his eyes were dancing in his head. He was getting so excited about it. That's what you like to see when you have a sponsor, when you have someone who represents Irish barbecue in that sense, and he's so excited about it. He so wants to develop it, and that's lovely to have. And that's what we aim to sort of use as a resource as we move forward as a team coming from Belfast to promote Belfast and to go in England and to take competition over there as well. That's ideally what we want to do.
I've seen some of Peter Hannon's stuff, and like his passion comes through in a lot of the posts and stuff I see on social media, and it just and some of, like you're saying, like the Himalayan salt curing chambers and stuff like that. It fascinates me, and it all looks fantastic. So I bet he's an absolutely amazing sponsor to have. I marvel at some of the posts that I see, which are awesome. You mentioned earlier about sort of reaching out and spreading the sort of barbecue love in Belfast and in Northern Ireland. And am I right in saying, did Christine Dale barbecue with you at the Big Grill?
Christine is part of our team. There's 5 people in our team at the moment. And, well, there's 6 if we count Artust. But Christine's part of our team. And also James, you probably see him at Only Slagging on Twitter quite a lot.
Okay.
He's part of our team as well. There's 5 of us going forward, and Connor at Connor Dawson, and then another friend called Joe, who's a complete and utter technological Luddite. So he doesn't have nor Facebook or Twitter, so he always just gets on Joe at the end when I mention anything. He doesn't do social media, so the only way you can reach us is if you walk up to him and rap his front door. That's about it, really, So.
I mean, something I've seen in of Ireland, in Belfast, particularly over sort of the recent last few years, is the foodie sort of influx. I mean, like there's such a variety of good food and good restaurants in Belfast. They're definitely pushing the movement of food there, and I don't think that you're going to be fighting a losing battle. I do think that as you spread the word and as you educate and as you sort of show people what it's about, that they will take it on very, very easily. As I do think that, like I said, that they are embracing the sort of foodie culture in it, and it's such a multicultural city as well. I mean, people may not think that, but it definitely is from my experiences, and they're always looking to take on new things and try different things. So I don't think you're fighting a losing battle there. I think you'll definitely find it.
It really is. Talking to somebody who grew up in Belfast in the 80s, and, well, I'll say the late 70s, I'm not that old, but through the 80s and through the 90s, and, to walk around Belfast city centre at 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock on a Saturday night or a Friday night or any night of the week, and there's so many different restaurants and types of restaurants and bars and types of bars. We have almost expanded 30 years in the space of 10 years, because things used to be so slow in Belfast for obvious reasons that we won't go into here. People didn't want to come here, on the most part. We were seen as very much somewhere you talk about but don't go to. But since the peace process and since that development, we have really moved on, and we've moved on our own shoes and our own feet. Belfast is a city that I'm very, very, very proud of.
Every time I come back, I see that. It's obvious every time I come back that everything, it keeps changing and keeps growing and keeps getting better every time I come.
I mean, we went the other night. I took my kids, myself and my wife took my kids down. And I can't remember what day it is now, but we went down. It was culture night. I think it was Saturday night or Friday night there. And you're talking, there was 70, 80, 90,000 people around Belfast city centre. Maybe not that much, but it certainly seemed that much. And there was just the feeling around the place. There's such a nice feeling in Belfast, and it's such, because one of the things I always say about Belfast is the greatest resource Belfast has is its people. And its people have been through so much that they have still retained that level of Irish nature in them, friendly and the crack, and just, you can walk down Belfast at 4 o'clock in the morning and people will stop to help you. They won't walk away, they won't, it's a small city, but it's full of very, very nice people, and in terms of food and beer and restaurants, and it is developing so quickly. But it's developing. It's nice because it's still Belfast. Belfast isn't changing. The people aren't changing. It's just developing into what maybe a Manchester is, or a Paris, or any other European city that we've developed very quickly over the last sort of 15 years. We had to develop quickly because before that there was little or no development. But yeah, no, I'm very, very proud of Belfast. I love the city. I love it in an all-Ireland sense, and that was one of the nice things about going down to the Big Grill, because, as I say, there was only 2 teams down from the north this year. There was ourselves and Keep Our Lip Barbecue, and we both went down to Dublin. And if you know anything about Ireland, Dublin has a huge superiority complex in relation to that's the best part of Ireland, and everywhere else is just outside Dublin. But and in 2 of the categories, chicken and pork, both first places went north of the border again to Belfast, and that made me so happy, that just that we were able to go down there and do that, and just promote Belfast as a venue for barbecue and food and just the crack and the people, and that's what people want to see when they come to Belfast. You go into Belfast now, and it's just people from it always amazes me, people from every nationality, and you just think, why are they here? Why do they come to this city? Why Belfast? And then you kind of stop and look and say to yourself, well, that's why. Because of the people, because of the crack, because of the nature of the place, That's why people come from all over the world, and that's, sometimes we forget how, cool Belfast is as a city, and how, special it is in relation to all the stuff it's went through. So yeah, I do. I'm very proud of this city.
Awesome. We've brushed over a couple of big things that were mentioned. The Royal and the Jack were both mentioned, that are coming up for you, and could you speak a little bit more about that? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, because we placed last summer, not this summer, because we placed a top Irish team at the Big Grill in Dublin. We were given an invite to compete at the Jack Daniel's barbecue, or the Jack Daniel's World Invitational in Lynchburg, Tennessee, next month. So we were preparing for that, and whilst speaking with KCBS, Wayne is a guy from KCBS who's organising things over there. He also invited us to attend the American Royal in Kansas City whilst we're there. So We have 2 huge competitions to practice for and to organise next month, all within a week of each other. You know, the 22nd, I think it is the Jack, and the 29th is the Kansas City Royal. So for a small team like us to be in that environment, you know, to be with those teams, you know,
it's amazing.
I
sort
started
of a David versus Goliath sort of situation we've got coming on.
I mean, I started doing barbecue over shows like Man versus Food and Pitmasters, and now I'm going to be I'm not going to say we're competing against, but we'll certainly be competing alongside people like Jack Soul South and Cool Smoke and Big Bob Gibson, and you know, just all those teams that you would only sort of see Mo Cakes on and BBQ and things like that. It's fascinating that we're going to be in the middle of it, you know, and I just can't wait. I have equal measures of excitement and fear and terror over competing, you know.
So what are you doing then to prepare yourself for these are like the biggest competitions in the world, really, aren't they?
Well, we're trying to practice, you know, with the Jack. The Jack's 7 categories. So you have, outside of the main 4, you have then sauce category, which has to have Jack Daniels. You have a dessert category, and you also have what they call cooking from the homelands, which would be their version of maybe anything but the chef's choice round. That because there's so many international teams go to the Jack, they then specify that it has to be something related to Ireland or whatever country you're from. So we're kind of working on developing what our dishes are going to be for there. I've spent 3 days this week trying to perfect my sauce for the Jack. So it's interesting. It's interesting. You know, you make one thing and you don't like it, so you have to go back and change it and change this and change that. It's lovely.
We've heard rumours about your apple barbecue sauce. Are you taking that with you, or are you making something new?
No, I'm going to do something new. You know, I do the apple bourbon sauce. I love creating. It's one of the sort of difficulties you have with competition barbecue over what you would do in the house or what you would do with friends. And that with competition, you kind of have to run with the crowd because of the flavour profiles and things like that. But I love creating. I love creating rubs. I love creating sauces. And one of my favourite is the apple barbecue or apple bourbon sauces. I do a nice peach. Self-praise is no recommendation, but I do like doing a nice peach barbecue and different things like that. You know, I just love creating different sauces and different rubs. Obviously, with the Jack, you don't have to go with the competition stuff to stand a chance. But yeah, no, apple bourbon's one of my favourites. It's very much a tomato-based sauce, you know, done with molasses and apple sauces and bourbon and different things, garlic and all. There's 20 different ingredients that may go into that. I mightn't build a rumor off head, but yeah, no, I do. I love creating, but the one that I'm doing this week is tippy top secret. You know, God forbid Jack goes south or somebody could be listening to this and steal my secrets, and I wouldn't win the sauce competition. You know, so yeah, but it's lovely. I've tested it out with a few people who like barbecue, and they've liked it. So if they like it, a few tweaks more, and hopefully we'll have it. It's just sourcing the ingredients once we're over there. You know, that's the challenge.
Yeah, you taking Irish meat with you over there, or is that a bit too far to travel with stuff?
No, we can't. We would have loved to, because there's certain meats that Peter Hannon does. You know, he does 10-day sugar pit bacon racks, and his Himalayan salt aged briskets are great. But we can't
amazing.
bring them with us. We have to source everything over there, which is it's quite hard. You know, they ask you to do a cooking from the homelands round, but you can't bring anything from your homelands.
No.
You know, you have to source everything over there. But we've pretty much.
Is that one of the competition rules? Is it you have to source over there, or is that?
No, it's just the legalities of it. You know,
plane, can you?
Yeah,
you can't
Stick a
bring
brisket in your hand luggage.
You're not allowed to bring meat. You're not allowed to bring dairy products, and you're not allowed to bring fruits and vegetables through border control in the States. So you're kind of snookered. I have sourced what ingredients I can bring with me, and I have them sitting to the side. So everything else, believe it or not, I have a huge shopping list that once we land in the States, we're going to have to hit up a Walmart or a Costco or something like that and try and get all our ingredients put in place for the competition. Now, the Jack itself, because it's an invitation, the Jack people are very, very good. They are providing us with our competition meat and stuff like that, so we don't have to run about. The Royal's a bit different. We have to source our own meat, so we're talking to different companies and different barbecue teams in the States at the moment about sourcing those, but that's where the expenses come from. You know.
I always hear great things about Snake River's farm. I always hear amazing stuff about their meat. Maybe one to look out for.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ones over. You know, at the minute we're talking with 3 or 4 different sort of companies that are providing meat for the American Royal. You know, and it's a wee dream in itself. You know, you talk about Snake River Farm, you talk about all different groups, but we can't get over here. You know, I can't go to the shop and buy a Snake River Farm brisket. But to use one over there, it'll be great, you know, just for the experience. So,
yeah.
No, it's a huge expense, and it's a huge logistic thing to try and get, not so much to take everything with you, because we can only take, you know, if you imagine, I'm sure you guys, I can imagine what it's like to be able to go to a competition, but only bring what's in the suitcase. Yeah. You know, you have to source everything else at the location. So that's going to be quite challenging, and that's where the logistic comes in,
massive
emails
challenge.
After emails.
Wherever I go, I always just, never ever, no matter how organised I am, I always get there and I'm like, I've forgotten this, forgotten that, forgotten this. Luckily enough, most of the time you can nip home or you know the area so you can go to a, but you're going to be struggling over there. It's got to be tough.
It's hard enough to fit everything in your car, let alone in a suitcase.
Well, that's it. We went down even to the big grill this year. We went down, 2 of us went down ourselves, and Keep Our Lit Barbecue went down in a van. We rented a van amongst ourselves, and we went down, and we just about fitted everything into a transit van that 2 teams needed. So, you know, we were flying, 3 guys are flying with 3 suitcases, and we have to fit everything in that. So, you mean, we'll get our small things in, but everything else, we're kind of reliant on the generosity of the American barbecue family. And in fairness, to this point, they have been fantastic. You know, we've had offers from Oak Ridge Rubs and things like that about supplying rubs for us and different things. You know, different teams have offered cookers and charcoal and wood and different things. As I say, the Jack are very good at providing things. So it'll all come together. It's just, but it is that email after tweet after tweet after Instagram after. My wife's about to hit me with a stick at some point every time I go for my phone. Every time I lift my phone, her eyes roll in her head, and it's just like, could you put the phone down and look after your newborn, please? Yeah. And I go, okay.
Nah, I'm going to America, sorry.
You'll have to learn to do it on your own. Yeah.
So you mentioned something
I'm going away with, leaving my wife with 5 kids, and I'm taking myself off to America for the guts of 2 weeks to go to, you know, it's going to be a dream, you know.
It's a hard life, isn't it?
I'm going to Chicago, Little Rock, Lynchburg, Tennessee, Arkansas, Kansas City, and when I come back, she says she's just going to be sitting in a corner rocking. So I'm going to have to bring her something very, very nice home, you know.
You mentioned something really important a minute ago, cooking, like cooker-wise, like pit-wise, like what have you organised so far? What are you cooking on over there, or how have you organised that, and how are you practicing for that?
At the moment, that's probably the toughest issue we have to deal with because of sponsorships and things like that. The Jack will provide Primo grills. Now, I have never, and no one in our team that's going has ever cooked on ceramic, so it's going to be a hard one. I'm trying to source. Obviously, we go in a month, so I'm trying to source either a ceramic, but especially a Primo to have a few practices on. Now, the Jack Daniels people have arranged that on one of the mornings prior to the competition, I think it's the Friday or the Thursday morning, that there's going to be a class in cooking with Primos. Now, we have asked, obviously, being from over here, we're more used to the Pro Qs or the Weber WSMs and things like that, so we have asked for if we could try and source, you know, WSMs at least in America. Pro Qs may be a bit harder to come across. But, so that level of bullet smoker will be easier for us to use. I mean, granted, we're getting into the Jack Daniels, and we're already on the back foot that we're from Ireland. We're already on the back foot resources ways, experience ways, you know, maybe knowledge ways. I'd love to at least have the comfort of cooking on a grill.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm comfortable with.
Even if you had a Primo as well, it would be nice to at least have a couple of WSMs or Pro Qs or something like that. That would be lovely. We have a few American listeners, so if you are listening in and you could hook these guys up, then reach out and let them know, and that would be really helpful. So Barbecue Family works wonders, so maybe, who knows.
It really does. I've been fascinated with the amount of emails that I've got from different teams, you know, in the States that have said, look, whatever you need, we'll try and help you. You know, as I say, the Kansas City, the Open in Kansas City is a hard one to source everything for, right down from, you know, we have to go from coolers, even right down to silly things like chimney starters.
Yeah.
We have to source all that over there, and obviously a lot of stuff's going to be bought in Walmart. Anything that I can fit, I have tease my wife quite a lot that I've always wanted a Yeti cooler.
Yeah,
So
you need a big budget for that, though.
I'm gonna buy a Yeti cooler and use it as a suitcase to get home with.
That's what
again,
I
that's
try
another
to
reason
do.
for the roller eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's just hard. Even there are things like gazebos and things like that we have to provide for ourselves. So that's where the funding comes in. That's where the expense comes in. It's obviously in relation to funding. I've took credit union loans and personal loans, and I've been saving up and different things to pay for it. But just funding is nice if sponsors can step in, and the Irish, we're doing a bit of work out there for Tourism Ireland in relation to promoting Irish food and promoting Ireland as a vacation venue for Irish America and things like that. So obviously Tourism Ireland are going to step in and offer some financial assistance for us. So it's nice, but it is going to cost a lot of money,
Yeah.
But cooker-wise is where is the stickiest issue. Obviously I started my barbecue career with ProQs. I still use. I have 3 ProQ Frontiers that I use. Other guys on the team have WSMs. Other ones, Big Green Eggs. So as a team, as a base, if we were based in Belfast or if we were travelling to England to compete, obviously in a transit van we can bring all our stuff. But over there, as you say, it would be great if somebody could reach out and say, okay, I can lend you 2 WSMs, or here's a WSM and here's a ProQ, or that would put us. It would level the field somewhat for us.
Definitely. So guys, if you are listening, then please do reach out. If you can help out, reach out. WSMs or ProQs, either or will be a fantastic help to Mike and the team. So yeah, definitely reach out.
I know it's still all about money, but like when I was over in Florida quite recently, I went into Walmart and you could get a WSM in there. Like they were on offer for about $129 or something. So it was like crazy price difference compared to over here, but you're still going to need some money. But as you said, Walmart kind of has everything you're going to need for everything. They sell gazebos, they sell starters, they sell everything. I think you just need to get down to Walmart and just load up.
It's fantastic. I love Orlando. Having lots of kids, I love going to Orlando. It's one of my favourite vacation spots, Disney World and Universal and all these different places. But when we go to Orlando, which we try and get every few years anyway, the first thing we do is go to Walmart. And I could literally spend a day walking around Walmart. I could spend a mortgage payment in 10 minutes, in relation to hunting and fishing equipment and barbecue equipment and coolers and just all manner of stuff, even clothes ways. And it's a great wee spot. I could spend, to me, going to Walmart for 6 or 7 hours is as enjoyable as going to Disney World,
Yeah. Disney World for adults. We've got Bunnings are coming over to the UK. That's like an Oz sort of home store. They've bought like Homebase.
Oh, really?
Or they bought like half Homebase stores or something like that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I went into my local Homebase the other day and they're selling off. I was going in to buy. It's like getting to the end of barbecue season never finishes for us, but the end of barbecue season. So they start to sort of sell off all of all the good charcoal and everything for like quarter of the price. So I've been going in a lot recently, keeping tabs on what's available. And I was chatting to one of the ladies in there because I noticed they're shutting, but basically they're selling everything off. And she was saying, because Bunnings is taking over the store and moving in. So I'm going to have a Bunnings in Plymouth pretty soon, which is pretty cool. I'll be excited to see what they're bringing over because all the sort of Oz contacts that I have through barbecue or like the Australian barbecue family always seem to be boasted about how great Bunnings is and all the cool stuff they do. So it'll be exciting to see whether they bring some of that over to the UK.
Yeah, really will. Because in Belfast here, as I say, we're like years behind news and the fact that even you have Costco and stuff over there, we don't have that here, so the extent of barbecue here, it's all usually online, or there's one or two wee businesses. I know there's a business popped up in Moira there, Great Outdoors Barbecue Co. and stuff. It's nice to see it starting to take off, but as I say, the majority of stuff we have to buy, it's all online, it's all Amazon, it's Barbecue Gourmet, it's things like that we have to go online and find, but it would be lovely, and that's why I get so excited when I walk into Walmart. It's lovely just to buy things off the shelf,
Yeah, definitely.
Probably not good for my bank balance either. It won't be, I don't think.
So, is there any way that people can help you towards this? Have you set up like a giving page or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a GoFundMe page set up, and today we actually just broke the £500 mark. We've had it set up for a few weeks now, and we just broke the £500 mark. A guy called Paul Clark actually put in money for me today. It's GoFundMe.com, and it is Irish Barbecue Champions USA Fund. And people can go on and they can donate £5, £10, £2. You know, as the ad says, every little helps.
So it was Irish Barbecue Champions USA, was that it?
Irish Barbecue Champions USA Fund.
Cool.
Yeah. It's just to help. You know, obviously we've put a lot of our own expense in, and we're not expecting the world to pay for our dream trip to the US, but it's just to help with the extra expenses. You know, and maybe help my wife not hit me with a big stick. You know, when she looks at the credit card bill. But yeah, people can just go on and donate. As I say, we've had a lot of family and friends. A few people, the big hitters of the English barbecue scene. Dr. Evil gave us a fair donation the other week. Smokewood Shack gave us a donation the other night. So, you know, and other people hopefully within the English barbecue scene and the Irish barbecue scene are starting to throw a few pound in for us. And a lot of friends, actually, I have a lot of friends because I'm fanatical about baseball. That's where Smokin Yankees gets its name, and I'm a New York Yankee fan. But I talk to quite a lot of people over Twitter at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning watching Yankee games, and quite a lot of them have thrown in $30, $40, you know. And so it's a slow burner, but as I say, it's nice that people can help us and help us achieve that we dream of going over there, you know. As I say, we're not expecting them to pay for it all, but just a wee bit of extra help is lovely, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Every little helps with these things.
It is. With the expense we're expected to get, it's nice just to have a wee bit of extra help. You know, it may pay for car hire, it could pay for what we have to pay, entrance fees to the American Royal and things like that. So, yeah, it's nice just to get that extra bit of hand. You know, it's lovely as well because it's nice to see people sharing a bit of love. And as you say earlier on, it's that barbecue family. You know, people that I've never met, but I've spoke to 300 times on Twitter. You know, but I've never physically met the person, and they're handing me £20 or £30 just as a nice gesture. You know, go and enjoy yourselves. And I keep telling people I'm not going to spend it completely on bourbon, but
I just got onto the page now. I love your logo; it's awesome.
Yeah, a friend of mine did that. A work colleague's husband. He's a graphic designer. I wrote it. I'd done a bit of a sketch in my head, and then I done it down, and it was simply came into my head and took the whole logo out. It was just perfect. And it's actually up in front of me here in my shed. I'm sitting out in the man cave at the minute, and I have our banner that's sitting in front of me. It's lovely. It's because I was trying to put in everything there is. You know, obviously Smokin Yankees. It's about combining my two loves. You know, barbecue and baseball. You know, even the pig itself on the logo has number 3 on, which is representative of Babe Ruth, which is my favorite baseball player of all time. So, you know, it's a lovely logo. I was so chuffed when it came up. You know.
Yeah, definitely looks awesome.
So hopefully it'll be flying high in Tennessee and Kansas City in a few weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no. I mean, as like a barbecue sort of enthusiast, I'm not a barbecue team. We competed for a bit of fun at a local one, Pengrilly, but nothing compared to you guys. But yeah, no, it would be an absolute dream to go and compete at one of these sort of events. Like, what? I guess we sort of already know the answer to that. I was going to say, like, what would it mean for you to really go over there and compete? But I guess we already sort of know, because it really is just like the absolute pinnacle of barbecue, really. It's
the chance in a lifetime. It's just the way it fell that we, as I say, were top place in Irish team last year, and obviously a big shout out to Toby Shea for organising Big Grill last year and stuff. And it's hard to sort of fail that because we were top place, we then obviously became part of the conversation to have an invitation to the Jack. And it's just, it wouldn't have happened. You know, I mean, I was sitting here 2 years ago with a couple of friends, barbecuing in front of my man shed, and 2 years later, it's just went very quick, very fast. 2 years later, we're going to be competing in the Jack Daniels Distillery in Tennessee at the Jack, and amongst 900 odd teams at the American Royal. We got our pitch number through the other day. We are number 737. Now that shows you how many teams are going to be.
How do they even do that? You know? How do they even do that? I mean, like, Grill Stock this year with 29 teams was like absolutely insane. Like, I don't even know how they could possibly do it. It's going to be crazy, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely marvel at you guys and really hope that you get over and you absolutely rock it and have a cracking time, because
it's really sort of balancing, because it's so much logistical and a financial nightmare getting over. It's balancing the having a bit of crack with making a good show of yourself. You know what I mean? I obviously want to turn in the best possible stuff that we can turn in, but you also want to enjoy yourself. You know, like any other competition, you want to go over, you want to enjoy it. I want to drink it in. I want to enjoy the atmosphere. You know, I want to see the Marin Mixons. I want to see the Tuffy Stones. I want to see the BBQs. I want to see them operating. I want to, you know, maybe get the odd selfie here and there with people. But, you know, it is just, sometimes I have to pinch myself. I remind people here about, you know, the movie Cool Runnings. That's what I've sort of explained it. You know, that's very much what it is. We are a small outfit from Belfast, and we are going over there to take on the biggest outfits in barbecue.
There's a bit of confidence. It's been done. Jackie Waite, I mean, as a bit of confidence, I said, like, it has been done, and like maybe you'll be the next. I mean, you're going to go over there and
bring it home for
who
Ireland.
knows? Bring it home for Ireland and the UK and absolutely smash it. Who knows?
Well, that's it. I mean, that is that level of confidence that we have to go over and say, okay, you know, I haven't been at this long, but I'm pretty good at what I do. You know, we've got Artust in the team who is pretty good at what he does. You know, and amongst ourselves, we'll be able to, you know, make a good show and actually put a presentation. And, you know, I mean, I'm happy enough that I can hold my own with anyone, you know. And if we go over there, and you never know, because it's already been a dream to this point. So you never know. Can you imagine getting a call at the Jack Daniels or a call
I mean,
at the
that
American Royal?
I think I'd just pass out. I think that would be just like
I think
insane.
I think so.
But I mean, we've got teams like Bunch of Swans. You got teams like Miss Piggies and people like that who are absolutely rocking it all the time in these competitions. And maybe not the sort of Jack and the Royal, but yeah, I mean, it's the British teams are just doing absolutely amazing, and it's great to see another team up there and going over and sort of laying down the gauntlet.
I think that we have Miss Piggy is going to the Jack this year, and Bunch of Swains are going to the American Royal. I was talking with them on Twitter the other day from Bunch of Swains. They released the pitch map of where all the teams will be in the Kansas City Speedway. Now we're in a nice wee position where we are not a far walk from the judging tent, but Bunch of Swains are pretty much on the same block. They're maybe 20 foot away from
That'd be a good crack then.
Stone. And right beside them as well is Big Bob Gibson. So they're on the cool block, as I said. They're user with the cool kids. You know, so yeah, it'll be nice.
Well, at least you've got a couple of familiar faces or familiar names or something alongside you.
Yeah, well, as I say, a bunch of Swains have been over to both the big grills this year and last year, so I've got to know them, you know, so it'll be nice to have a familiar face, you know, sort of amongst the 900-odd teams that's going to be there.
Yeah, awesome. Ed and Emma are brilliant. Love them both. We're lucky enough we're going to sneak into the they've got a competition class at the beginning of October we're going to sneak into, so hopefully have some video and stuff to put up from that, and maybe just encourage some more people to get involved with the future classes. They've had a few this year already, and they've all been an absolute mental success, so yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Michael, you're so passionate about barbecue, but we haven't actually touched on like where this passion came from. Like, where did barbecue begin for you?
It all began. I'm what you would call an outdoorsy person. You know, I'm a very much person who would have been younger, would have been up to running up and down. Maybe not now. At my age, I'm 40 now. My knees are starting to go. But you know, when I was younger, I'd have been into running up and down the Mourne Mountains and in and out of forests and things like that. And I always loved camping, and I always loved cooking outdoors, you know, and that taste of stuff that you cook outdoors over smoke, over coals, there's just nothing in the world that can replace that. There's nothing in the world like it. You know, I still to this day or not even to this day, I've developed it over the last sort of few years, Dutch ovens. I love cooking with Dutch ovens because it reminds me of camping, or it reminds me of, you know, that sort of cowboy essence that you have, that sort of outdoor manly thing, you know, and I love doing that. But obviously, I mean, as any Irishman will tell you, he's only good as his mummy's cooking. So my mother was a very good cook. So that sort of mixture of watching your mummy cook and, you know, being an outdoors person, it kind of combined into being into having a real love of outdoor barbecue cooking. As you're right in saying it, it is a passion. And competition barbecue is great, and I love it, and having a team is brilliant in the social aspect. But just cooking outdoors in general, I love cooking. As I say, I love cooking with Dutch ovens. I have, much to my wife's disapproval, I think I have 7 or 8 different barbecues out the back here, out the front of my man shed. So it gets her to roll her eyes every now and again. But yeah, it's a passion, and it came from, like, I was no age. I mean, I remember loving cooking outdoors. Friends going camping when you were 8 or 9 years of age, cooking bacon and beans in a biscuit tin over a fire. You know, and that's where it starts. You know, it starts as a wee seed, and it grows, and as you get older, you get more passionate, and with having more space. I remember when I first left university and we first rented a wee flat in the middle of Andersonstown in West Belfast, I had a small gas grill because that's all we could fit. You know, obviously then I moved on, and my wife got married, and we moved into a house that had a big garden. So from then, I've just over the last sort of 9-10 years progressed from gas grills to charcoal, the bigger charcoal, the bigger gas, the bigger. So I have a mix of all different types of barbecues, but it has all came from that one thing, you know, that love of cooking outdoors, and you combine that with the social aspect of barbecue. It's barbecue to me. I know a lot of people just barbecue in the summer whenever, you know, the sun comes out, quick run to Tesco's and get a barbecue or do that and do that. But if you really look at it in its essence, the way people have moved away from collective living, you know, a lot of times people will only have a family meal at Christmas. It's the only time they'll all sit down together and have a big proper meal, or maybe Easter Sunday or something like that. Whereas every time you barbecue, it just promotes that social aspect. You know, everyone sitting and eating with their hands and sitting back out your garden or wherever you choose to be, having a beer or not having a beer or having a wine, and you know, I'm just talking and being together and being social. You know, it's just lovely. To me, it's one of the last times where barbecue is just such an inclusive thing. It just involves everyone, and to have family and have friends that you don't see a lot often. But when you say to them, look, okay, let's have a barbecue, everybody comes together and everybody sits together and eats together, and it's lovely. It's just lovely, you know. As I say, even with the barbecue team, Connor is one of my best friends and has been for 20 years. Joe's another one of my best friends. But we all have lives. We all have work commitments, family commitments. When you do a competition or when you do a practice cook or even any type of cook, you get to sit and spend 8 hours together. You get to shoot the proverbial river and put the words to right. And it's just one of the only times you can actually hit the pause button and be social and be collective and be family and be friends, and that's what I love about barbecue. You know, that's competition barbecue aside, just barbecue in general is just, it's such a social thing, and you know, that's where I want to push barbecue in Belfast, because we have that social aspect too. I'm not about any other country in the world, but just to be Irish is to be social. You know, is to have a bit, is to have, you know, we're very warm with each other. You know, so despite all our differences and different things in the past, we still are. So barbecue is just a representation of that, you know.
Perfect. You summed it up perfectly.
Yeah, great way to end the podcast, because we are at the hour mark there. But thank you very much, Mike, for coming on. And could you just run through where people can find you on sort of social media, and just give the fund GoFundMe page again, so people could maybe get on and give you some support?
No problem. The GoFundMe page is obviously it's GoFundMe.com, and it's the Irish Barbecue Champions USA Fund. You'll see as you've already seen, you'll see our logo. On Twitter, we are at Belfast Barbecue. On Facebook, we are Michael Belfast Barbecue, and I think it's something similar on Instagram and things like that. But yeah, no, we just want to be nice to hear from people, and it'll be nice even if people have any questions just about going to the Jack and things like that. It'll be lovely. It's nice just to have conversations about things you're passionate about. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers for coming on. And yeah, we can't wait to. We'll be tweeting some questions and stuff as well. So it'd be cool to.
Looking forward to following you along the way.
Yeah, following you along the journey. It'd be awesome.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.
Mate, thanks.
See you soon. Hopefully, see you competing in the UK next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to. We're hoping to have us and bring a team over from Belfast, and my dream is to we're quite close to Dr. Evil Barbecue, given just relationships over social media and things like that. So as I was flagging Gary a few weeks ago or whatever, that our dream is that we get to pitch beside Dr. Evil in one of these competitions, and we can have a bit of a hoolie, and I can share a nice bourbon with Dr. Evil himself, you know.
Awesome. Who knows? Grill stock next year. That might be the one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We've recorded yet another awesome podcast to get you over Hump Day. As always, we're brought to you by ProQ, BBQ Gourmet, and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you think about buying your first smoker, wanting to upgrade, or looking for authentic charcoal commercial smokers, check them out over at Max Barbecue. BBQ Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue inspired the UK and Europe with top championship winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades and accessories from the US and around the world. You can find them on Twitter and online under BBQ Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas or electric, the real taste of summer can be yours all year round. And Smokewood Shack delivers quality smoking wood every time. They provide the smoky goodness, you provide the talent. So if you're looking for smoking wood, chunks, dust, chips or planks, and even pellets coming soon, then head on over to smokewoodshack.com and you can find them on Twitter at Smokewood Shack. So goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you next time.
Cheers.
That's debatable. I'm a much better cook than you. Bye.